All right, Q1 it's a CCCOB. It is November 9th, 2022, Pacifica, California. The low was 44 and it got up to 57, I think. Just listening to Loudness, their first debut album from 1981. I lived in Canada back then, a little close to Toronto, little place called Mississauga. So, just got this in the mail. I just opened it up. I think I was talking about the three key indicators, temperature-wise, 44, 50, 60, and how it is important to switch around the food for the medakas. Their digestive system really slows down when the temperature starts dropping. Again, their digestive system is at peak when the temperature's 60 or above. So now that we're experiencing lower temperatures, it's time to start looking at the type of food that we're feeding. Typically, if you look at the ingredients on a lot of the foods that you're feeding them, if you look at the protein level and you look at the fat level, the protein level is going to be probably at 50%. The fat is going to be maybe 10 or 11%. This is the one I've been using, which you could only get in Japan or eBay, but eBay you're going to probably pay a hefty price, which is not worth it. But this one specifically from Hikari, it's called Maintenance, was formulated for the cooler seasons where medakas generally, they do not have the capacity to break down the fat and the protein, which is really harsh on their digestive system. So this specific formulation here, you got to trust me on this. Hope it zooms. So protein, 38%. Usually the other formulas are about 50 and up. The fat is only 7%. Typically it's in the double digits. So this is the one I've been using, but as you could see, this is my last pack. And I wanted to look for something that was easier for us in the United States to get, that's more accessible, and which is a lot cheaper. I went on Amazon and I looked at all the ingredients, and this was the closest thing that I could find. I just tore this so it was easier for me to open with one hand. But this one you could get on Amazon. I got this for $7. Pretty good size, right? What does it say? It's 3.5 ounce. Let me see. This one, all this part is Japanese. It basically says formulated for goldfish, but I'll go into the details. お腹に優しい金魚の健康食. So it's easy for the stomach. So goldfishes, they go through the same thing too, right? Winter comes, their digestive system slows down. So both Hikari, Kyorin, same company, same brand, different line, right? Says in English, Hikari Goldfish Wheat Germ. I looked at the back already. Let me see. Protein. Oh, this is in English. Protein is 32%. Fat is 4%, so they're even lower than the Medaka one that I have. And I looked at and compared all the ingredients, and all the vitamins are the same, all the minerals that they use are the same, and everything else, about 75% is basically the same. They're crossover, right? So I'm sure it'll be okay, but I wanted to test it out. And these guys, let me even see if they'll eat it. And again, going back to the just reviewing what I was talking about the temperature, the three key indicators. I think 2 shows back ago, the 44, the 50, 60. So 60 is when, that's when their digestive system, 60 and up is when it's optimal. They start becoming active, they start moving up, right? Swimming around, activity comes up when the temperature reaches around 50 degrees Fahrenheit. So anywhere between 50 and 60, that's when their metabolism rate is going up and their activity level is going up, right? So you want to know that. So if you want to feed any type of food, you want to try to feed them when the water temperature is 60 and above, right? You can start feeding them in their mid 50s, but if you can wait, and if you are at home, 60 is like, that's optimal. I always wait till it's 60, but if the temperature doesn't get up to 60, the water temperature, 55 is fine, but anything below 55, if that's the warmest it's going to get, that's when I start thinking about switching to something like this, something with low protein, low fat. So that is the switching point for me. When I start seeing temperatures only climbing up to 55, and that is the peak of their water temperature, I'm definitely switching to this to try to take it easy on them. The other thing I do is I feed less, and number two, I feed less frequent, so I'll just feed once a day. Right? The first number out of the 44, 50, and the 60. So we know that 50 is when they start moving around. So until then, they're probably on the bottom. And then as the temperature rises close to 50, they're going to start swimming around, and you may see them on the top, right? And that's when you kind of know when it's around 50. When the temperature is at 44, that's when they're not moving anymore. They're not using energy, and their metabolism rate is like basically, it's really low basically, right? So let me just, by the way, this is my best friend right here. I carry it around me. Don't leave home without this. It's not the American Express card, but it's 55, 13 degrees Celsius. So right now the water's 55. Again, it's temperature-wise, it's safe to feed. So, real quick sip. The best beer of the day is the one that you can find next to you. So, kanpai chinjinjayo. All right. What you're hearing is me crushing some of this stuff. Again, they're tiny pebbles, so you got to crush them on this. All right. It's good to carry around something like this because the temperature, by taking the temperature, at least you know what the temperature is. And then learn the behavior of your fish. Are they really active or not? Like when you come here and when you zap it, and if it's like less than 50, are they coming up to you? They probably won't. But depending on the type of strain you have, certain lineage, maybe they will. But again, the numbers are not concrete, but this is just based on my experience and what I've been doing. The other thing, regardless of what the temperature reads, right? 12 degrees Celsius, 54. Before you even feed, watch them. Are they even coming up to the surface? Are they looking like they want to eat a little bit? Right. So it's already kind of too late in the day to feed. Regardless of the temperature, regardless of what they're doing, days that are raining, it actually hailed in Pacifica yesterday, but days that are raining, I don't feed. The water conditions are changing because of the rain, parameters and all that stuff. Even if the temperature comes up, I'll wait an hour or two if I can before I introduce food to them. And if you know the temperature is going to drop below 50 let's say I'm feeding right now, and I know that the temperature is going to drop below 50 within 2 hours from the time you're feeding, I don't feed, because it takes them about 2 hours for them to digest the food that they're putting in right now. So typically I will not feed right now, but this is just to see if they'll even eat this stuff. So this is what it looks like right now. Okay, I just grinded them. And then let's see if they're even interested. Come on, let's see. are they going to eat? Even if they put it in their mouth, if they don't like the taste, they'll spit it out. Just want to make sure they're eating it. I don't see them spitting it out. Aside from the protein, aside from the fat being lower than the other formulas, this is also a floating type, which is important because Medaka, their eyes are near the top. They're not good at digging on the bottom for foods, scavenging. So you want to make sure whatever you feed them, it's a type of food that, let me try a little bit more, floats. So again, these guys aren't sinking, right? Just look at the ones that are just untouched. Yeah, they're floating. So it looks like whatever they're putting in their mouth, they're not spitting out. Okay. All right, they're eating, right? Okay, cool. So again, I've never tried this product. This is the first time I'm trying this. This is available on Amazon for, I think, $7.50. Winter food, I'm going to switch to this to see how they do. Again, just remember when to switch, it's probably now in most areas in the United States. When to stop is, this is the rule I use. So I always wait till the temperature comes up to at least early to mid 50s minimal when they're actually moving around to feed. When do I completely stop feeding Medakas outdoors? When you have 4 consecutive days when the average, this is the average temperature, is 44 and below. They're basically in chillax mode. They're not sleeping, but they're chillax mode. They don't need to eat. They'll get the nutrients through their gills and all that from the green water over here. There's a lot of microscopic organisms in there, and they barely move. They don't have to, so they'll be okay. So again, when do I stop completely? 4 days straight when you have the average temperature being 44, which in a lot of places in the United States or California, it doesn't happen. When there's a warm day, they'll come up. So if they do, if it's mid 50s, midday, I'll just sprinkle a little bit. But again, less amount, less frequency. I just do once a day at that point. So, okay. So let me see. I'll put a link to this on the show notes to Amazon. $7.50. You could get this stuff on eBay from Japan, but they're gonna charge you an arm and leg. And I think this maintenance, you can't just buy alone. You gotta buy like their entire line for $80 or something plus shipping, which is overpriced. And my best friend right here, I think this thing is really accurate. I tested. This thing's great. So I'll put a link to this. I keep this around my buckle. Don't leave home without this. So thank you for tuning in again. We'll do it again next time. Any questions, hit me up on the comments. Let me see. Instagram at MedakaMetal is where I live. Hit me up over there, and I will do my best to answer questions if I have an answer to it or if I have any experience about the topic or whatnot. Let me see. Community section on YouTube. I put 3 polls. You want it in English? Do you want it in Japanese? Or do you want it bilingual style? The other one is, do you like Instagram Live versus YouTube Live? And the other one is, do you like this video format on YouTube, or do you like the live format on YouTube? So it'll really help me out if I could get some more samples to try to figure out like how I should proceed. All right, domo arigato. We'll do it again. It's getting dark, so we'll do it again next time. Medaka Metal style. out here. This is the product. All right, out.